So, Malika Andrews, sports journalist from ESPN, has got a promotion. And let's just say people are not happy about it. What's up, guys? It's Bad Decisions, where we watch people make
bad decisions.
It's your boy, Sher.
It's your man, Jay. So I want to start by saying, I don't know if it needs to be said, but I want to start by first saying that the issue with Malika Andrews taking over hosting the NBA Finals is not because she's a woman. It's not because of her ethnicity. It's not because of any of that. As a matter of fact, before Mike Green took over hosting the NBA Finals, it was actually hosted by two women, Maria Taylor and Rachel Nichols. So I think that ESPN all along has planned to have this hosted by a woman. So I think that's a good thing. What I think the issue is ESPN being tone deaf to the fact that a lot of their viewers don't like Malika Andrews.
It's funny because Malika Andrews and my timeline have always had a funny relationship. I remember when she first got hired. Like, my timeline was flooded with nothing but Malika Andrews is bae. She's bae. Like, I used to see so many people post her. And then slowly but surely, people stopped posting her. And I was like, I wonder why, until I turned on ESPN.
I'm not going to lie right now, okay? I'll be honest with you guys. I'll be honest with you, decision makers.
Tell the truth.
I'm going to tell the truth and shame the devil, as they say. I was once a fan of Malika Andrews' aesthetics. Yes, I was. And why is that a big deal? It's really not. So I even questioned, so why don't people like her? What is it? I wasn't sure. I really didn't know why. I saw small things online, but I really didn't know the specifics of why people didn't like her or don't like her. So from what I can tell from doing a little bit of research and scouring some forums, people mainly don't like her for two reasons. And when I say people, I mean men. One is that she tends to bring up negative things about players at moments where they're being celebrated that don't have much to do with the situation going on. And two, it seems like she's a Me Too risk, if you know what I mean. Hence the Jalen Rose incident.
Get your finger out of my armpit. We're just happy to see Jalen Rose. Well,
yeah, I mean, listen. It's because Malika Andrews has a terrible habit of kicking men down on a men-centric network. So we're going to bring up a couple situations. Okay, for one, there's a situation with Jalen Rose where she accused Jalen Rose of putting his hand or finger in her armpit when video evidence clearly showed that his hand was on her shoulder.
Get your finger out of my armpit. We're just happy to see Jalen Rose. Well,
there's an Adrian Payne situation when he had passed away, and then she brought up a case that no charges were even filed on.
Former Michigan State star Adrian Payne was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida, early Monday morning, the Orange County Sheriff's Office said. And Payne was the 15th pick by the Atlanta Hawks in 2014, played 4 seasons in the NBA with multiple teams. In 2018, he was waived by the Magic after he was named in a report by ESPN's Outside the Lines that he'd been involved in an alleged sexual assault at Michigan State in 2010. No charges were filed in that case. Prior to playing in the NBA, Payne was a member of the All Big Ten second team in 2 of his 4 seasons with Michigan State.
There's a Joe Mazzulla situation where she brought up a case that he had 13 years ago that was irrelevant and that he had already taken care of.
Not to mention, like, the case with Joe Mazzulla or whatever.
Yeah.
She brought up the fact that he had to serve community service and pay $40 fine. What does that have to... Stuff she brings up is not even major. I know she brought up something about some guy that had, like, a murder trial or something.
Yeah.
I get that's major, but again, ill-timed.
Yeah.
But stuff like a $40 fine or bringing up charges that were never filed... It's just like, what's your end game? What's your end goal here? Is this just to slander these men?
It's like she has a vendetta.
Exactly.
Is what it seems
That's what
like.
it seems like.
And not to mention the infamous Udoka situation,
right,
where she tried to take over Stephen A. Smith's show and then paint an unfair narrative that Stephen A. Smith is sexist or he's biased towards women.
This is not about pointing the finger. Stop. What became apparent to me in this press conference is that we do not have all of the information here. And it was frustrating to me that the Celtics declined to elaborate or to give more specifics about what exactly the rule breaking was that led us to this point. Women were unfairly dragged into this within the Celtics organization. Folks were bringing in the names and the images of women that is just not a fact. That was purely speculation. The fact that we are sitting here debating whether somebody else should have been suspended or not, we are not here, Stephen A., to further blame women. That is not why we are here.
First of all, let me be very clear. I don't appreciate where you're going with that. I'm not blaming anybody. but Ime Udoka.
I think someone would notice if Ime Udoka was not at...
Excuse me. I listened to you. You're the one telling me to stop on my show. It ain't happening. Okay, that's number one.
Listen, there's many more cases of this happening with her, but that would take the whole show. And listen, there's nothing with holding people accountable. Black, white, man, woman, that's fine. But 13 years ago, for something that's already settled, bringing up something when someone has already died. Most importantly, if your whole thing is about holding people accountable, especially with the Udoka situation, why wouldn't you hold the other person who was involved in the affair, who was also a team member of that organization? Why wouldn't they get held accountable if that's your main thing?
No, I love that point you brought up because it's so true. It's so true, and it's so exposing, I think, of her underlying beliefs, which I won't say. I'm going to say it starts with an F. That's the part of the camp she seems to be a part of. Why would you, like you said, hold Udoka's feet to the fire in a situation like that, but totally discount the woman's part in it? I get that he was in a power position. Don't get me wrong. I get that.
He deserves it.
I get that part. You know, and it's against company policy. Apparently, he messed up. However, are you trying to tell me that she's completely
absent?
Yeah, like no type of accountability as far as the situation is concerned? No. So why did Malika bring that up? Tell me.
Yeah, Malika Andrews is like your little sister at the dinner table who mentions that you wet the bed at your graduation party. Let's say Cardi B won a Grammy. That's like someone mentioning, hey, Cardi B, you used to rob men and drug them in hotels. No one would do that.
Yeah, that'd be wild.
No, I mean, it just wouldn't happen.
That'd be wild.
And listen, should she have to pay consequences of that? Yes. Absolutely. They're not going to say that at the Grammys, though.
No, it's wrong. This is not the right time. Isn't the narrative out there that she hates men?
Yeah.
I've heard that, right?
Yeah.
And isn't it?
I've seen it.
It's true. I mean, so that's what I'm saying. That's my point. Like, it's a very strong thing to say. It's a very broad thing to say. And it almost sounds like hyperbole. She hates men. Like, does she really hate men? But if it quacks like a duck, it walks like a duck, I mean, it might be a duck. And she might be a duck. She might actually... Now, I don't know if she hates all men, but she might have a...
She's not very convincing.
Right. And I'm also going to say something that, maybe she just dislikes a certain type of men over others, if you know what I'm saying.
I could also see that.
Yeah.
The thing about her is that her response always comes with a right hook. And to me, it's just an odd choice. Why promote someone that so many men hate? It's like ESPN doesn't know their main demographic. You know what this is like? This is like if The View announced a new host of their show was going to be Fresh and Fit and Andrew Tate. How many women would like that? I'll wait.
Okay, so it's unclear why ESPN is pushing Malika Andrews. It may just be by default because they're firing everybody else. But Malika, she's been on a rise, and at first in my mind, I'm thinking to myself, there has to be some terrible ratings, but at the same time, it can't be that bad if ESPN is promoting her. And lo and behold, I find out that over the last couple of years, her ratings have increased incrementally, actually to a pretty significant amount. But by guess who? Women viewership, and specifically black women viewership. But as far as ESPN's core demographic, which apparently is 73.13% men, according to ESPNpressroom.com. ESPN doesn't seem to be they just don't seem to care about the wants of their core demographic. Either that or they're totally tone deaf. I don't know which one it is.
Honestly, I think sports television has really missed the mark in the last couple of years. It's gotten to a point where it's gotten so political and so divisive that it's missing the whole meaning of what sports actually is to the American people. Sports is a place where a Democrat, a Republican, someone who's black, someone who's white, someone who's Asian can walk into a stadium, and for that night, if they're wearing the same jersey, they can be brothers. They have something to root against. They're rooting against the other team for that one night. That's what entertainment's all about. You're taking your mind off of the serious things that happen in life, and you're just relaxing for a little bit. It shouldn't be something where I'm out here like thinking and doing algebra equations and getting political and rising up my blood pressure if it's not about the game. Like,
right.
The people who are commentating are supposed to be just as excited about the game as the fans are. If you're too busy taking shots at people about little tiny stuff or things that happened to them in their past, it just overall takes away from the game. In all honesty, I think that's why YouTube is starting to become a bigger and bigger platform, because people are just tired of political news. They're tired of biased news. They're tired of people putting their own opinion on things. Whereas like YouTube is like, you get a real fan's perspective. You get people who love the sport. And you overall, you just get people who just want to have a good time. So ultimately, what are you going to say? ESPN promoting her, good decision, bad decision?
Honestly, I don't know, because overall, I don't really know what ESPN's new strategic plan is. So if they
even have one.
Right. And I mean, they're such a huge company. I'm sure they have some type of strategic plan, but I mean, based upon the changes they're making by firing all the people they fired and promoting the people they promoted, I really am confused as to what they're trying to accomplish. Maybe they're trying to target a completely new demographic. I don't know. So overall, listen, if the numbers talk, the numbers talk. If they're trying to increase their audience, if they're trying to increase their female audience, hey, I mean, maybe this is the move. I don't know, but I don't know. But if they care anything about their core demographic, which obviously is men, I mean, it's not rocket science, then promoting Malika Andrews or putting Malika Andrews in a position to promote or to host the NBA Finals, it doesn't really make much sense to me from just the outside quick perspective. So bad decision.
Ultimately, guys, I'm going to say that this is a bad decision. It's a I don't make sense kind of decision. I don't know why they would do this. If their whole idea is to get female viewership up, I would suggest them put all this energy into the WNBA. You have something that you want to get more eyeballs in. Why don't you put Malika Andrews in the host of WNBA? She doesn't like men. Fine. Have her host the WNBA. All right, guys, so that's been bad decisions. Hey, decision makers, if you think that ESPN made a good decision, leave a like and leave a comment. If you are like us and think ESPN is absolutely, then leave a like and leave a comment, guys. All right, we're out.